Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay back with another video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. This is from, I'm not too sure this is from a storyline or just figures itself. But as always, we're going to be taking a look at the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint. And of course, if it's worth your purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. The front of the box looks like. Sorry for the glare. I do like the art piece in the back. This side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. All right, let's take a look at the accessories that it comes with. As always, you do come with a card. So the front of the card looks like for Blue Beetle. The back of the card. Here's the front of the card for Booster Gold. And the back of the card. It does come with regular two stands that they're on. And it does come with this other base stand, which looks pretty cool. It's actually, it's fairly thin. It's very flimsy, but I do like the paint on it. It has like a look, kind of like a rust look to it, like dirt, if that makes any sense. But I gotta say though, that base is pretty detailed. Look at that. Look at all that. This kind of sculpture is very good. It does have like a little bit of gloss to it, but also has like a almost like a dirty, like dusted look to it. But again, fairly detailed, which I really like for a base like this. And this is the holes you can see right there and right there. It does come with other accessories too. It does come with, I'm not familiar with Booster Gold, so bear with me, and Blue Beetle, but it does come with, I believe this is Skate, I think that's his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's kind of the base here. I do like the middle piece, and I do like the gold. Nice, clean, little bit of gloss gold to it. Clean, simple. It does come with, I'm not familiar with this. I'm assuming this is part of Blue Beetle, but correct me if I'm wrong. Or no, I think this might be from, I actually have no idea. But it does come with this accessory. Again, let me know what this is, which character belongs to. It looks cool. I do like the kind of like copper look to it. It does come with this little gun there. I'm assuming this belongs to Beetle because, well, it's right there. But again, nice little solid color, a little bit of gloss to it. Little gun there. And it does come with a, looks like an iPhone. Yeah, pretty much an iPhone. A very small phone. You can tell from iPhone because look at that, the lenses right there. Again, not much going on. There's a lot of accessories in this 2-pack. So let's take a look at Blue Beetle. And I gotta say though, that head sculpture on Blue Beetle is fantastic. It looks good. Look at that grin, the smile, that paint on that smile, and his lips. Also, too, in his nose, a little bit of pink on there, too. Hopefully, my camera can pick it up. There you go. Yeah, it's not picking it up. The eyes are glossy, that yellow gloss to it. Head sculpture, everything else is clean, simple, but that face, though, is really good and very detailed, man. And that paint on the eyes look really good. And it does pop, even from a distance, to the eyes. Articulation, very good left and right. Up, down, very good. This is really good. So in terms of the head articulation, fantastic. Paint is good. Sculpture, again, around the head is plain, but the face is with the highlight, and it looks very good. Let's take a look at the arm articulation. Shoulder, it does articulate. This one's kind of rough, but this one does articulate more. Bicep, oof, this left arm is pretty stiff. The right arm is, there you go. Again, fairly new figure, but it is pretty stiff. Elbow articulation, and of course wrist. So in terms of the articulation, it's good. The paint though is very good. I really like the paint. Very good paint. Unfortunately, mine does have a kind of, it looks kind of dirty, so I don't think it's intended like that. If you can see right there, the arm right there, it's a little bit of a dirt to it, unfortunately. So to me, it's not that big of a deal, but it's something to keep in mind though. But in terms of the, well, take a look at the torso articulation. Really good, man. I think McFarlane did a really good job with this figure. But I gotta say though, it's a good looking figure. It looks clean, simple, not much going on, but I do like it, man. It really does look very, very good and unique. Very similar to the comic. And again, it looks very good. The eyes look very good too. That gloss on the eyes look very good. Articulation is good. So I gotta say though, the upper body, I'm digging it. The belt, there's not much to the belt. I'm assuming that's how it is in the comics. And again, I'm not familiar with Booster Gold or excuse me, Booster Gold or Blue Beetle, so bear with me. But not much going on in the belt. I do like the little gloss here on the yellow on this belt, similar to the eyes. Let's take a look at the leg articulation. Good. Knees, good. Ankles, good. Toes, good. So again, the paint on the legs, it's very plain, not much going on, to be completely honest. Boots, again, not much going on, very plain, simple, but it looks like it has like a dirt to it, a little bit of dirt on his left leg. Right leg looks cleaner, left leg looks a bit faded, so it might just be my figure that came like that, unfortunately. To me, it's not that big of a deal, but again, you want to take a look at the legs so you can see right there perfectly. Oh, let me see if my camera can pick it up. Yeah, you can see much better. Notice this is more solid blue. This has like a faded kind of look to it, so it can just be my figure. Am I going to make it a big deal? Nah, not really. Because at the end of the day, it's a good looking figure, man. The articulation is good. It just could be my figure that just came like this, so just keep that in mind. So when you're out purchasing it and you see it at a store, make sure you want to look at little things like that. So overall, for this figure itself, I gotta say it looks good, man. Very clean, simple design, but it looks good. But the highlight, though, is gonna be that face. That face looks really, really good, man. McFarlane did a really good job on that face for Blue Beetle. Now, let's take a look at Booster Gold, excuse me. And he's about to fall. You can see him right there. He's leaning forward. And I put Blue Beetle over here, just posing. So let's take a look at Booster Gold. And again, I'm not familiar with this character, so bear with me. So, right away, again, similar to Blue Beetle, that face sculpture looks really, really good. That paint, the grin on his face, the teeth. Unfortunately, you can see some of the paint here kind of overlapped a little bit. But again, that face looks really good. The sculpture is good. The paint is fantastic. The yellow on his eyes. Unfortunately, I'm not digging the eyes. I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. I wish it had eyes like that on the... like that, like see-through. Very similar to the Robin from The Dark Knight Returns. Eyes kind of thing. I wish it had that. To me, that would have been a lot better. Same with Blue Beetle, but it is what it is. So, but it still looks good, though. But I would prefer that kind of eyes right there, like in the box. So the head sculpture, a lot more compared to Blue Beetle. Look at that hair. Unfortunately, the hair, there's not much to it in terms of the paint. The sculpture is good for the hair, but there's not much paint to it. I wish it was a little bit more, maybe some like darker, some parts that are like dark brown a little bit, just to make the hair pop even more. Because even if you see it right here on the box, it's almost like it has two different browns to it. They're not just all one solid color, and in the figure it's just one solid color. Again, not a big deal, but it's something that I would, would prefer. But again, head articulation, good, up, down, very good, man. So overall, head sculpture is good, paint is good, articulation is good. Another fantastic build on this one for Booster Gold. Let's take a look at the shoulder articulation, very good. Elbows, good. Wrist, good. So in terms of the arms, in terms of the the sculpture and paint, again, very simple, clean looking design, paint on it. Unfortunately, I don't know, maybe it's just my figure. I'm hoping it's just mine, because if it's for every other figure, then that's going to be unfortunate. But the paint looks a bit messy there, if you can see it right there. Also, there's some spots here that just looks, it wasn't painted properly. And again, I'm not going to make it a big deal, but there's something that I am going to be aware of. So I'm showing it to you guys so that way you guys can take a look at it. So that way when you are planning on purchasing and you see this in store, make sure to look for those little things. So again, not a big deal like that. The paint right there, to me, not that big of a deal, but I noticed the paint. So it is what it is. His left hand has this kind of a weird looking design. Again, I'm not familiar with Booster Gold, but I'm just showing it to you guys. And again, you can see here the paint. That's unfortunate. And his left hand has a fist. So Overall, it looks clean. It's a good looking figure. Articulation is fantastic, similar to Booster Gold, but the paint's good. I dig it, man. There's no belt, but leg articulation. Oh, let's do torso. Very good, man. Very good articulation of torso. Legs, good. Knees, good. Ankles, good. And then toes. Oh, there you go. Good. In terms of the leg leg sculpture, there's not much to it going to the legs. Unfortunately, it's very plain, simple, similar to Blue Beetle. The legs, again, simple, clean design. But unfortunately, you can see that right there. Mine did come like that, popped out. It's not that big. It's supposed to be like this, kind of flushed. You can see it right there even more. So, it is unfortunate. Mine came, yeah, like that. Is it a big deal for me? You can see even right there even more. It looks really bad. It really does prep out. I think I can force it back in. But it is what it is. Not that big of a deal for me, but just something to keep an eye out. So, again, that sucks. But overall, though, apart from that, it's a cool looking figure, man. I dig it. It's a cool looking figure. It looks clean. Again, similar to Blue Beetle, the biggest highlight is going to be that facial expression. I mean, that head sculpture and paint is top notch. What would have been better, is if the eyes for Blue Beetle and Booster Gold would have been similar to that. If they had the same similar eyes, like this, similar to Robin from The Dark Knight Returns, I think it would have been even much better. But again, that's just me, my preference choice. Now, the main question is this worth your purchase of $40? And I think, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say, yeah, man, you get a clean looking figure, good articulation, the paint is really good, especially the head sculpture on both figures. Sorry, I'm putting a Booster Gold with the stand. Like I'm saying, I think it's worth your price. Articulation's good, the paint's good, it's clean, simple design, but they both look good. And that face sculpture and paint look fantastic. And you get a bunch of accessories too that look really good too. So, in my opinion, is this worth $40? Yeah, man. Like, again, look at all that detail on this base. That's a lot of detail. It's a lot of sculpture. Yeah, it's a probably simple design, but again, McFarlane could have easily just something very basic, but he really went and did all this. So this is included, and again with all the accessories. And I think for $40, I think it's worth the purchase for $40 in my opinion. Now, granted, I'm not familiar with this character, so coming from a guy who's not familiar with this character and saying this is highly recommended, that must mean something. And of course, if you read the comics, you're no more familiar about these characters, then you probably have this 2-pack by now. But in my recommendation, I would recommend it, man. I think it's worth the purchase $40. I think it's a fair price. I mean, obviously, if you get it for cheaper, that's going to be ideal. But for $40, for everything you're getting and for detail in the head sculpture, I think it's worth the purchase price of $40. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on these figures? Do you plan on purchasing these figures? Or do you already purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button not to support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So it includes an overview of Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, and on to the next one.